Listen close, because something unusual is happening inside Venezuela. Troops are being moved at odd hours without public explanation. Airbases are switching into elevated alert cycles normally reserved for wartime. Coastal missile sites are powering on, running brief tests, then shutting back down. And senior officials, including Nicolas Maduro himself, are reportedly sleeping in different locations every night to avoid becoming predictable targets. These aren't ceremonial drills. They're the kind of internal adjustments a government makes when it believes a major moment is approaching. The kind that indicates stress, fear, or preparation for something bigger. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on those preparations, breaking down the movements US intelligence is watching, and, most importantly, analyzing what Venezuela actually has in its arsenal. Which systems are genuinely dangerous? Which ones could cause trouble for US forces? But before we dive deeper, hit subscribe and smash the hype button so this briefing reaches more Americans who need to understand what's unfolding just south of our shores. Why this matters. Venezuela isn't some far-off battlefield. It sits inside one of the most strategically sensitive corridors in the Western Hemisphere, only a few hundred miles from US shores, major shipping lanes, energy routes, and undersea fiber cables powering the American economy. A single Venezuelan move, a radar dish turning on unexpectedly, a submarine slipping out of port, or a sudden dispersal of fighter jets ripples outward instantly. Oil markets shift. US Navy deployment patterns adjust. Latin American governments scramble. Chinese analysts in the Caribbean begin recalculating. NATO intelligence centers start lighting up. This is a region where even tiny movements create global effects. And tonight, we're breaking down whether Venezuela's military can actually mount a defense that could challenge US naval or air operations. Let's go wing by wing. Venezuela's Air Force, the sharpest spear. When analysts talk about Venezuela's real military threat, they start with its Air Force. And for good reason. Su-30 Mk2 flankers, Venezuela's most capable jets. Venezuela acquired 21 Su-30 Mk2 heavy fighters, although due to maintenance and parts shortages, about a dozen are believed to be fully mission-ready at any given moment. These jets matter because they're fast, capable of Mach 2, long range, can reach far over the Caribbean, heavily armed, can carry multiple anti-ship or anti-air missiles, two-seat, allowing one pilot to fly while the other manages sensors and weapons. But the real danger isn't the jet, it's what the jet can fire. The KH-31 Krypton, the real problem. Recent 2025 Venezuelan drills revealed Su-30s carrying KH-31A anti-ship missiles, a supersonic sea-skimming weapon built to kill ships. Why is this a concern? Because the KH-31 reaches Mach 3, flies extremely low to sea level, is designed to slip under radar, can hit targets at 70 to 160 kilometers, depending on altitude and conditions. A coordinated salvo of KH-31s launched from multiple Su-30s could threaten logistics ships, destroyers, or lone vessels operating too close to Venezuela's shoreline. But here's the problem, and it's a big one. To hit a moving ship, you need precise, real-time targeting. You need AWACS. You need satellites. You need stable radar coverage. Venezuela doesn't have that. Without accurate targeting data, the KH-31 is basically a fast, expensive guess. F-16AB Fighting Falcons, older but still flying. Venezuela also operates a few F-16AB Block 15s, delivered in the 1980s. They're outdated, lightly modernized, and suffer from parts shortages. They're useful for air patrols and showing presence, but they're not a major threat to US jets. Bottom line on air power. Venezuela's Air Force offers the most credible threat on paper, especially within 100 miles of their coastline. But limited pilot hours, aging sensors, and weak radar support dramatically reduce real-world effectiveness. They're a threat, not a match. Venezuela's air defense grid, the shield. If the Air Force is the spear, Venezuela's air defense network is the shield. S-300VM, the long-range system. This is Venezuela's most powerful defensive platform. A high-end Russian-made SAM system capable of tracking aircraft at long range, engaging ballistic and cruise missiles, reaching out to nearly 200 kilometers in some modes. It's mobile, meaning it can shoot and scoot, making targeting it harder for attackers. Buk-M2E, medium range, more flexible. Below the S-300s sits the Buk-M2E, a medium range system good for hitting jets, UAVs, cruise missiles. Its 45-kilometer range allows it to operate in the gaps between larger systems. Short-range weapons, lots of them. Venezuela supplements its ring with Pechora 2M, old but functional. Igla S, manpads. ZU-23-2 anti-aircraft guns. Radar-guided AAA. They protect bases, fuel depots, and leadership nodes. How dangerous is the shield? Here's the simple explanation. Air defenses work only if they can see clearly and stay connected. The US has A-18G Growlers, E-2D Hawkeyes, Tomahawk cruise missiles, standoff jammers. These can blind, disrupt, or destroy the radars that make the S-300 and Buk dangerous. Verdict. The air defense ring raises the cost of entry, but it cannot create an impenetrable bubble. Venezuela's Navy, the asymmetric threat. Venezuela does not have a blue water navy, but it does have tools that can create surprise problems. Type 209 submarine, the silent wildcard. The Navy operates at least one Type 209 diesel-electric submarine, possibly two. Diesel-electric subs are quiet in shallow water. They can hide under layers of warm Caribbean water where sonar becomes unreliable. If a Type 209 sneaks close with a modern torpedo, it could force a US ship to maneuver hard. Not guaranteed, but not impossible. Venezuela also deploys fast attack craft, patrol boats, older Corvettes. Some can fire C-802 anti-ship missiles, not modern by US standards, but still dangerous at short ranges. Swarming small boats near port entrances or shipping lanes, that's a real asymmetric threat. Mines. Mines are cheap. Mines are quiet. Mines are terrifying. A few well-placed naval mines could shut down ports, shipping lanes, oil terminals. Even rumors of mines slow everything down. Ground forces. Lots of people, limited tech. Venezuela's ground forces are huge on manpower, not so huge on modern equipment. Who's on the ground? 100,000 active troops, hundreds of thousands of militia claimed. Reality? Only a fraction are trained, equipped, or reliable. What do they have? T-72 tanks, old, heavy, still dangerous at close range. AMX-30 tanks, older, lighter. Rocket artillery and mortars, anti-tank missiles like Corvettes. They're good in cities, jungles, mountains, ambush zones. They're not good in open battle, maneuver warfare, long campaigns. If a US force ever had to land or secure ports, Venezuela's ground units could make progress, painfully slow and politically expensive. They're not a knockout punch. They're a grinding obstacle. The kill chain, the real limit. Here's the big truth. A weapon only works if it knows where the target is. To hit anything, you must find it, track it, identify it, aim, fire, guide. This is the kill chain. Venezuela has weak radar coverage, no AWACS, outdated communications, poor data links, low pilot training hours, limited submarine sea time. That means their missiles and subs often don't have the complete picture needed to target a US ship that's constantly moving, jamming, and hiding behind layers of support aircraft. It's like trying to hit a sprinting football player while blindfolded. So, can Venezuela put up a real fight? Yes, they can cause trouble. A Type 209 submarine lurking in shallow water, a lucky KH-31 missile launch, mines seated near shipping lanes, militia ambushes in cities. These are real threats. But no, they cannot defeat a US carrier strike group. They don't have the sensors, the training, the logistics, the modernization, the kill chain. They can make the fight painful, but they cannot make the US lose. And now, I want your take. Which single Venezuelan move would create the most trouble? A hidden submarine, a sudden missile launch, or a massive militia mobilization? Drop your answer below. I'm reading the comments. Thanks for watching and giving your time to this channel. I don't take it for granted. If you want the clearest military analysis anywhere on YouTube, hit subscribe and press that hype button so this briefing reaches more Americans who need to see it.